Did you know that in the LEGO Bricktoons Cars episode, the main Piston Cup rivals are Next Gen's H.J. Hollis and Flipped Over? While these racers appeared in the Cars 3 movie, they were background racers at the time. Jackson Storm didn't appear in the LEGO short, so what do you think happened to him? Comment below. H.J. and Flip have apparently become the main competitors of McQueen in the Piston Cup. Since Cruz didn't appear in the episode either, it is possible she retired and McQueen is back to racing. Did you know that in Cars 3, the ending was originally going to be different? In a deleted scene, we see that Sterling was actually going to force McQueen to retire before the Florida 500. This was due to Sterling seeing Cruz's impressive stats and racing her instead. Tex Dinoco then signed McQueen to Dinoco, as he wanted to do in the first movie, meaning Lightning could end up racing after all. In the final version of the movie, McQueen races and Sterling asks Cruz to leave. It ends up being Lightning's choice to have her race. Did you know that in the final race of Cars, this former Piston Cup racer is actually voiced by a real-life racing legend? Mario Andretti is voiced by the real former F1 and IndyCar racer of the same name. He actually won 12 Grand Prix in 14 seasons. The character in Cars was good friends with Doc Hudson and is considered one of the greatest racers of all time in the Cars universe. He attended the T-Breaker race at the LA International Speedway at the end of the first Cars movie with his assistant Patty. Did you know that the quote McQueen says, before he races Doc, float like a Cadillac, sting like a Beamer, is based on a quote from the famous real-life boxer Muhammad Ali? Ali, known for his quick head movement, invented the quote float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Lightning McQueen made a Cars version of this quote, as Cadillac and Beamer are both kinds of cars. Doc makes fun of him with an altered version of this quote after McQueen crashes into cacti. Doc also uses it to motivate McQueen in the final tiebreaker race. Could Lightning's name be a reference to Ollie's quick movement? Did you know that in the Mater's Tall Tales episode Air Mater, he tows the car to Prop Wash Junction? This town is actually the same one from the movie Planes. Skipper, the plane that taught Mater to fly, is the same plane that mentored Dusty in the Planes movie. RSN, the sports broadcasting company from the Cars universe, reappeared in Planes to cover the race along with commentator Brent Mustangberger. Did you know that in the movie Cars, there are multiple car references in the landscape of Radiator Springs? If you look at the mountains behind the courthouse, they actually resemble the ends of Cars. This is a reference to the real-life landmark in Texas called Cadillac Ranch. Also, the shape of Willie's Butte, the place where McQueen and Doc used to race, is based off of an old Pontiac hood ornament. When Mater is fishing McQueen out of the cacti after he spun out, if you look at the sky, the clouds are shaped like tire tracks. Did you know that Chick Hicks, the main antagonist in the movie Cars, actually has a meaning behind his number? His racing number is 86, which is actually a reference to the old term 86ing or 286 someone. This old saying means to eject or throw out of something. This saying is a hint towards his racing style, as he often spins cars out in the movie, leading to their removal from the race due to the damage he caused. Did you know that in each Cars movie, there are references to a 113? In every Cars movie, it appears as Mater's license plate. In the first Cars, when Lightning is trying to find Mac, it is shown on the front of the train that McQueen speeds in front of. In Cars 2, it can be seen on Siddeley the spy plane, and on the bottom of the image of Miles Axelrod's hood. In Cars 3, it is the room number of Sterling's office and a license plate on Miss Fritter. A 113 is a classroom number at California Institute of the Arts, where many Pixar staff used to go. Did you know that in the movie Cars and Cars on the Road, there are references to the real-life landmark Stonehenge? In Cars, when Mater and Lightning are driving back from tractor tipping, we can see Sally eavesdropping on them. In the background, a small framed image of Stonehenge can be seen. In Cars on the Road, before McQueen and Mater visit the Dino Park, one of the stops Mater chose was Carhenge. This is another reference to Stonehenge. Did you know that this old Mater's Tall Tale actually shows how Mater lost his headlight? In this episode, Mater is thrown out of a club and is attacked by security guards. He ends up losing a headlight, and the pity even says,
"Next time it's the blinkers, understand?"
This was 1930s slang for eyes. This incident is likely why Mater is down one headlight in the Cars movies. Also, the lines used are a reference to the old movie China. Did you know that the Luxo ball, an important symbol of the Pixar company, appeared secretly in the movie Cars 3? The Luxo ball is from an early Pixar short called Luxo Jr. and has since been in many Pixar films. However, Cars and Cars 2 did not feature the Luxo ball, whereas most other Pixar movies do. However, Cars 3 broke this streak. In the demo derby race from Cars 3, it is on the hood of one racer named Bill. Did you know that in an early version of Cars 2, there was going to be a different character who was a double agent? Julia, a red spy, was going to meet Mater, but ultimately betray him to Zill, another deleted character who was going to be the antagonist. She was a red car, and an early concept who developed into Holly Shiftwell. In a deleted scene, Mater ends up meeting Julia when he tries to take a train home after causing the Queen to lose. In the actual movie, he ended up trying to take a plane back home instead. Did you know, in Cars and Cars 3 a background racer can be seen that is actually sponsored by Apple? This was done as Steve Jobs, the former CEO of Apple, also used to be the CEO of Pixar. The number of the racer is 84 due to the fact that 1984 was the year Apple computers began to sell. The racer can be seen in the opening race getting passed by the king. It also appears in Cars 3 in many places. The crew chief, next-gen version, and hauler can also be seen. Did you know that by and large, the company from WALL-E actually had secret appearances throughout the Cars series? In Rescue Squad Mater, it can be seen when McQueen is in the hospital. In Tokyo Mater, a small logo can be noticed on one of the buildings. In Cars 3, it is a huge sponsor on one of the racetracks. It has also appeared in many other Disney movies, including Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4, and more. What do you think of this company? Did you notice its many secret appearances? Did you know that in the movie Cars, before Flo was the owner of the V8 Cafe, she actually had a different job? Before Flo arrived in Radiator Springs, she was actually a Motorama girl. She even has Show GRL on her license plate. There was even going to be a deleted scene depicting how Flo actually ended up in Radiator Springs. In this scene, her chaperone broke down, leaving her and her group in the town. Once Flo met Ramon, she decided to stay even after the other Motorama girls left.